Germany's government missed out on $2.35 billion in profit because they sold Bitcoin back in July at 55,000. They ended up selling 50,000 Bitcoins at this price level. They probably got faked out of their position. Now, last night, Bitcoin reached an all-time high. Well, I guess you could say this morning, right around 1 a.m. Eastern Standard. Bitcoin hit a high of about 98,350. It is now trading at 97,236. So we are about less than 2% from hitting 100K. Now, this is the Bitcoin liquidation heat map. Why did we get stopped at the levels that we got stopped at right around 98,300? You can see ultimately right at 98,335 was the beginning of a lot of short liquidation that could have happened all the way up to 98,600 and then even beyond into the high 98,000s, into the 99s, and then 99,500, right? I think a lot of shorts are putting their stop losses here at 99,500 just due to the psychological factor that when we get close, people are going to expect it to hit 100K, but it may fall shy of that. Now that's just what they're thinking. I don't think that is actually going to happen, but you can see once we hit that level, shorts ended up tagging on and trying to pull this thing backwards. If you look at the long liquidation leverage, you can see at 96,500, there was a lot of long liquidation positions right here, 96,500. You saw us get that very fast flush down to 95,500, and that is likely the reason for that. This is potentially where long positions had their stop losses as well in case Bitcoin ended up selling off and market makers wanted a little bit of a bite of each side. Now, I don't think this is over. I think Bitcoin's going to come up to 103,500, but we have been spending a little bit too much time on it to start the video. I want to talk about Solana very briefly, trading at 248.88. up 6% almost, and it is looking for a breakout. Once Solana breaks out, it's coming up to 323, and that is my first price target on Solana. That gain up to 323 would be about a 30% gain. My next price target is 396, which is about a 60% gain, and then ultimately 442 on Solana, depending on how far this cycle goes. We need to talk a little bit about Ethereum. It's up 8% following Bitcoin. Bitcoin is dominating. Ethereum is lagging behind. But ultimately, I don't like to talk about Ethereum because I think it underperforms Bitcoin to a large degree, but I think now is the time to bring it up. If Ethereum ends up even coming relatively close to the move that Bitcoin has and other altcoins have, I think we cap out around 5,000, but I do think we potentially make it there this cycle, and I just want to put that on your radar that that is about a 53% gain from where we're trading at right now. Before we get into GameStop and AMC, bonk. One thing I see for the potential bullish side of things is every single time Bonk has one of these moves higher from its low, it's about 30%. The first leg up was 34%, 30%, 38, 39, 34, 40, 30, and ultimately I expect the next leg up to be 32%, and then another move higher, which is another 30%, bringing us to our price target, at least one of our price targets. This is what Bonk should look like from where it's trading at right now. It should come right up to 406, retrace to 4056718, get another bounce to about 4065 or 4063, retrace back down to that same level at 4056800, and then get that move up, hopefully late November, around November 24th, we hit that level at 4074.573 or somewhere in that zone, 408, 4085, somewhere along the lines of that. I also see meme coins following it as well, so if you're holding a different meme coin, don't worry about that. Now, last but not least for Bitcoin, Bitcoin miner Marathon Digital raises $1 billion to purchase more Bitcoin. This is ticker symbol MARA, M-A-R-A. Now, GameStop net premiums have hit a new 3-day high, with GameStop now reaching above $28, which is a 1-month high. Call buyers have stepped in heavily the last few days, with the highest strike premiums being $30 and $40 on GameStop. Now, we are about to cover AMC and GameStop and then finish off with the market and Nvidia. Make sure to like the video if you haven't already and subscribe to the channel. GameStop is seeing a good options chain, 33,000 calls. calls compared to 2,000 puts expiring in the week, and then a lot of premium being handed over to market makers with 102,000 calls expiring out of the money. That is not a crazy good thing to see here, and we called this out yesterday. I said watch. There's probably going to be a lot more short exempts stacked up based on GameStop trying to break out, and you went from 20,000 to 100,000, which is a nice 5x on short exempts. Also not a good thing to see. GameStop is getting cooked on the options chain, and tons of premium is being handed over to market makers. I don't really want to talk about that too much. Short exempts are still slightly high on AMC, but I do want to bring up something. AMC is on the logarithmic scale right now, and I want to point out one thing to you. Do you guys see from this sell-off up here, this little peak candle, this crash, and then this move right here? This is the same setup back here, this peak candle right here, right? This candle, and mark the date, on February 18th of 2020, is the same candle that we saw on August 7th of 2023. This crash, we are 455 days into from this candle to where we're trading at right now. From this candle to this red candle, we are 454 days of a cycle. Now, this is the weekly time frame, so keep that in mind. When AMC finishes the week, you're going to see that 455-day mark. So it's not quite here yet, but what that would mean is next week you see a candle like this. Now, it doesn't have to be to the same scale. I'll bring the drawings in right here. 454 days, right? Same pattern, same setup. 454 days. Ultimately, even if it was a very, very small scale, what you'd see is something like this in the orange, scale up to about $6.30. Or, assuming it was at a larger scale, we don't really know what the magnitude is going to be. You get that move back up to $11.90, or who knows, you get that move up to $46, right? Or you get that move up to all-time highs, you break algorithms. Ultimately, I just want to point this out to you that we could be on the verge of having that move next week. Now, I want to bring up cost. Someone brought it up in Discord. It is up 3.4%, and it could be bringing momentum in whilst trading in this flag pattern, making higher highs and higher lows, and it actually held up here, which is pretty good. It's a pretty good thing to see. I think cost will move when AMC and GameStop moves as well, so it's just an additional play. GameStop got smacked at resistance at $29.80, and then ultimately $29.50, and now we're trading at $28.18, basically down 1% on the day. Got a little bit of a flush, but ultimately we are still making higher highs and higher lows, still melting up, which is a good thing to see for GameStop. Don't be worried if you see a retrace down to $26.60. That is possible to happen. But ultimately, I'm waiting for a break past $29.50, watching $31.50, $32.65, $36, and then $40, so on and so forth. Hopefully, GameStop ends up squeezing next week as well. This is the perfect setup coming into what could be a potential squeeze week for a squeeze play to have. So this is a beautiful setup, and we're watching it. We're catching it early. Now, Bill Huang, the founder of Aros Capital, was just sentenced to 18 years in prison for fraud and market manipulation. Sorry, but that's just what happens to you. Also wanted to throw this in the video that the U.S. national debt just reached an all-time high of $36 trillion, and the market is slightly green on the day, 592.15. Now we got this major green candle, and then a red body candle, and then we are building another candle inside of the red body candle. Ultimately, this isn't giving us a signal for next week, in my opinion. Yes, we did build a base off of this green candle back here, which could be bullish. However, next week's candle, I want to say, needs to break and close past the high at $600 for us to continue to have momentum on the SPY. I want to see a candle next week at least come up to 604 and close up there above that $600 level to continue to build momentum higher. I just want to say that right now. If we don't get that and we get another full body candle next week inside either of these two candles, I see a bearish move downwards for the SPY. Nvidia got flushed on earnings, down 1% on the day. However, it did come up all the way to 152.70. They reported revenue at $35.08 billion, which is estimated at 32.25, so they beat. And then adjusted EPS, 81 cents, estimated 74. They beat on both. Once again, Nvidia ended up collapsing. This was clearly just a liquidity grab, and ultimately they didn't beat as much as they were anticipated to beat percentage wise. Overall, a lot of volume, a lot of volatility. It basically traded sideways. And if you played this up or down, we kind of should have expected this with market makers, especially with the mixed signals that we were having with Nvidia. So that is on myself. That is on us ultimately. That is what I got for you guys for today's video. Make sure to join the Discord. The link is in the top of the description. Go subscribe to the second channel. We are 10 subscribers away from dropping the first video. My custom indicator is the third link in the description where you can get it for 2 weeks for free. It is pattern detection and forecasting. Go add it to your TradingView charts to help you trade. And the fourth link, do it before November is over, is for a free broker. It is Moomoo. Once you use my link, open an account, and they approve you, and then you make a deposit, you are going to start earning up to 15 free stocks, each valued up to $2 grand per stock, and a $30 cash reward, as well as earn 8.1% APY on your uninvested cash. Keep in mind, the promotion ends in 9 days, 12 hours, and 32 minutes as I'm making this video, but it will continue to go down, so it'll take you 2 minutes. Go do it. Sign up and make a deposit into there. You're also getting level 2 order book data for free access to trading options, going long, going short, viewing other exchanges, and more as a retail trader. That is it, guys. Don't forget to get in the Discord. I love you all. God bless. Lottery Socks out.